Hello and good morning, Blue Jays fans. Welcome to Jays Latest. I'm your host, Craig Borden. Make sure you hit those like, share, and subscribe buttons, all for the wonderful fun that is all trade rumors and all things Toronto Blue Jays here. So let's step up to the plate and hit this one out of the park. So, Blue Jays trade rumors are obviously in full swing as we talk the big Yankees series. Obviously, the Blue Jays are playing right now at the Skydome, and we're going to talk all things what's going on. Former general manager Jim Bowden is MLB analysis at this point, but he was 16 career years of being a general manager in Major League Baseball. Has a wonderful plethora of knowledge. He's on MLB Network. He writes for the Athletics, so on and so forth. He's proposed a trade idea that he wouldn't be surprised that comes to reality for the Blue Jays. This trade centralizes around the Blue Jays getting some pitching and a hitter, along with giving up a couple of their top prospects. So the trade would be Blue Jays are going to get in this scenario Gregory Soto and Ramon Laureano from the Baltimore Orioles. And in return, they send Angel Bastardo and Urian Watts Brown. So those two are prospects for the Toronto Blue Jays. They are currently ranked as 15 and 26 on the top prospects list for the Toronto Blue Jays. Both of them have live arms, and that is what the Orioles are looking for: is pitching, pitching, pitching. Not good things to be trading those kind of arms, but definitely would be in the ballpark of those are more reality to get good pieces back. I would love to see this trade happen because I do think Gregory Soto and Ramon Laureano could be some really fun bats to have in this lineup, along with a great pitching arm. Soto has been great. It's got a 4 ERA, pretty much dead even. He's been a little up and down of late, but he's a great lefty arm that has some great dip in a sinker. Like I said, he would just be a nice addition, and with only having 40 some odd innings, that's the reason that all of a sudden his 2 earned runs against the Cleveland Guardians yesterday inflated that ERA finally just above 4. So say I could have swore I looked at this the other day, it was like 3.8 or something. So meanwhile, Ramon Laureano is having one of his best seasons in a long time at a 2.5 career WAR for this season, along with a 2.79 batting average, usually around a 2.5 ballpark. But he's got 13 home runs and 41 RBIs. So that would be another fun player to have in this lineup, in addition to all the fun that we've been having elsewhere. This one seems like this was a doable one. This is something realistic. Isn't somebody just throwing a clickbait trade out? And you got to spend something to get something. And the Blue Jays getting 2 major league ready players that jump into this lineup and do a good job. I think that would be one of those things that extends the opportunity to score some more runs and keep the other opposition off the board. Soto's got a great career as far as doing that. He was a Detroit Tigers closer for a long time. He's not quite at that level as he was, but there was also some crummy Detroit Tigers teams. So maybe he's just been the exact same. But no, I think these kind of trades are what the Blue Jays need to be looking into, and I think that does make a lot of sense. I think Jim Bowden might be onto something there. Other news. Forgot to mention this yesterday's show, but Dalton Varsho is playing in Dunedin and having a great time, apparently, as he's played in the whole 2 games. He's already got 2 home runs, and the one he hit yesterday was not a subtle bomb. So Dalton Varsho appears to be very healthy and looking good, and could be returning to the Blue Jays sooner than anybody thinks here in the next coming days or week. He just looks healthy and he's mashing the ball in Dunedin, so he's at least got to be getting up to Buffalo soon to face some close to Major League Baseball pitching and go from there. So let's talk about last night. Toronto Blue Jays unfortunately lost and finally broke their home winning streak at 11. So that's 11 games in a row, which is now a new franchise record for home wins in consecutive order. Basically, we got beat by Cody Bellinger, is the best way I can say. Cody Bellinger got all over Max Scherzer in 3 at-bats. He had 2 doubles against him, along with a home run. So that was his 18th of the season. It was a solo blast. But he just knows something, apparently, about Mad Max and was able to take full advantage of that yesterday. And like I said, 3 for 4 with 2 runs scored, an RBI. Yeah, him and Jazz Chisholm, and then the final nail in the coffin, eventually the ninth inning off of Jeff Hoffman, came off the bat of Ben Rice. So the Yankees Thunder took them over the top the last night. That is what has not been occurring for the Yankees every time they play the Blue Jays. Otherwise, they usually gotten a one standout home run. But yesterday, the bats teed up a few golf balls for him and drove it into the seats. So it was not a fun time. It did never get to the point where the Blue Jays were out of this one against Cam Shippler. He did pretty good, and this is the unfortunate reality of the Blue Jays. I still think their Achilles heel is, and it's just been like this for years. Young pitchers that come to the majors somehow find a way to dominate against the Toronto Blue Jays. And Schlittler did a great job doing that exact same thing. Give up 2 earned runs on 7 hits, which that's the impressive part. They scattered that many base runners in addition to 3 walks, struck out 3, and only gave up the 2 earned runs. Blue Jays go only 3 for 13 yesterday with runners in scoring position. And then they were able to hold down the fort from there. A few errors. Surprise, Anthony Volpe is now leading Major League Baseball with 13 errors at shortstop, and that was the one that actually led the Blue Jays back in this game in the 6th inning. And then Davis Schneider comes in and hits a double down the line, scores some of the runs. Blue Jays were in this game, though. Vlad Jr. went 3 for 5. Barger 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs. Like I said, pinch hit run batted in by Davis Schneider. Springer went 2 for 3 with the RBI as well, and along with scoring 2 runs. So him getting on base in front of Vladdy has been a wonderful wake up of how this lineup has been moving along. So it is what it is. But that is the Blue Jays' big thing. When they don't have the bats working for full power up, they have been finding a way to piece these runs together. The pinch hits, the doubles down the lines, the Joey Loperfido stepping up when they need to, Ernie Clements hitting clutch at bats, Bo Bichette being the leader in runners in scoring position average in Major League Baseball at 400. So at least that's what it was heading into last night. Not sure what it is today. Went 1 for 5 yesterday. But the offense is clicking, and regardless of this loss, they came back on 11 hits and scored 4 runs against the Yankees, and certain things happened with Jeff Hoffman on that pitch for Ben Rice don't happen. This game could have been going maybe still with how they were both beating on each other last night. So, game 3 tonight. The Blue Jays will be in prime time talking the last game of the series against the Yankees here as they have an off day tomorrow. It's going to be Chris Bassett versus Max Fried. Max Fried just recently saw against us 4 earned runs in that outing against the Blue Jays in his last one. He's been averaging about that many earned runs in his last 4 starts. So it is what it is, but the Blue Jays have a chance to get to him. They found a way to do it last time. He only got 2 strikeouts against us last time, 3 hits, 4 earned runs, and 2 walks. The last 2 oppositions that he's faced is the Mets and the Chicago Cubs. So he's been facing some stiff competition over his last 3 starts. Maybe that starts weighing on him. Who knows? We'll see what happens. As I mentioned, he will be facing Chris Bassett, who has been doing a great job. And actually, I think it was his last outing. They were saying that him scattering 10 hits and no walks through 6 1/3 was actually the most scattered hits by a pitcher this season without giving up a run. So it was very encouraging. And obviously he's gotten out in his last 3 starts. Well, not starts because he had that one in the middle. Did really good against the White Sox at his last start right before the All-Star break. Did great against the San Francisco Giants in his first start after the All-Star break. So he'll be looking to take the Blue Jays to another series win this evening against the New York Yankees. He's got to stay away from some of those hot bats. Bellinger and company have found a way to beat up on the Blue Jays so far this series. Been a little bit closer this time. But to that point, the Blue Jays have the tools, the talent, and everything going in their favor too. So we'll see what happens as the first place Toronto Blue Jays still have a 3-game lead on the New York Yankees in the American League East. So check it out. We'll be right back here every morning, and make sure you head over to Jaybird Watching Podcast or at Birdwatching GC. First things first, we're auctioning off or giving away, free giveaway win a Chris Bassett City Connect basketball jersey that I procured myself at the ballpark. I'm going to be giving it away, and I just think it's going to be a fun giveaway for us to be able to talk to. That's at Birdwatching GC on all of our social media stuff for that one. Make sure you check that out. And we're going to have Travis Snyder, former Blue Jays outfielder, to talk what it's like in a dugout that has this team clicking like this and how you move toward the trade deadline, in addition to his post-baseball career, which is working on the mental part of the game with youth athletes. So make sure you join us and talk about how you can flex that muscle too. So go Blue Jays, and we'll talk to you tomorrow. Cheers.